So, a New Yorker in Nassau. Many of you probably thought I was from Abaco, Long Island, but I'm not a country Joe. I'm a New Yorker. My family is originally from Puerto Rico. They migrated to New York, and somehow I ended up in this amazing rock of Nassau. Now I'm going to go back to my very first experience in Nassau, my very first day. I was a teenager. I was coming off the plane, probably JetBlue, don't remember the airline. And I can remember just the feeling of the heat beating on my body.
It's like in this room.
And I walk out the airport, and to the right of me, I see a group of gentlemen, and they were an audacious bunch, and they were just very loud and very passionate. And all I could hear is PLP this and FNM that. And that's when I learned really, really quick that Bahamians are very passionate people when it comes to politics. You see, in New York, we could give a rip about politics. We're very liberal. We're not very passionate. So politics is something that isn't brought up at the dinner table. We don't really like to talk about politics too much. We would think we would, but in all reality, if you saw some of the graffiti on F this president, F that president, you would see why. But that was the experience, and my wife, who we were dating at the time, Kia, she picks me up, and it was a little lemon that she picked me up in. And in New York, I rode the train anyway, so it was all good. But she picks me up, and I thought I've seen it all when it comes to driving, being a New Yorker. As you guys may see in the movies, New Yorkers are very wild when it comes to driving. But then I come to Nassau, and for some strange reason, you can be driving on the road, and as you guys know, there may be a car that's very slow in front of you. And what do? You got 2 lanes, but the other one is oncoming traffic. So my girlfriend at the time decides to go in between. A car coming in the way almost kills me in my first 10 minutes in Nassau. So that's my first experience. So we go home. And like I said, I'm sweating and I'm drenching, and I finally get to the AC. And this is when I learned the most hated alphabets in the Bahamian alphabets. You guys know?
BPL. BEC.
BEC. BEC. 5 minutes in the AC, resting, and lights out. Lights out. I could not believe it. We never experienced that in New York. We probably had one blackout in the last 30 years of electricity. We always have electricity. And if we run out of electricity, it's because the bulb died, okay? So we never run out of electricity, so that was something that was very new to me. So, welcome to the Bahamas. So, that night we go to a place called, some of you may know, Mason's Addition.
What?
And what do they do at Mason's Addition? And in Mason's Addition, I hear, who are we? The...
Success.
There you go. Some of you got it twisted, right? But, and many people would assume that me being a New Yorker, I would automatically go with a team like the Valley. But I go to Mason's Addition, and it just blew me away. The rawness of it. It was a rush practice. Jumping was about a few days away, and I just remember people just chanting and the instruments and the cowbells and the dancing, and I was just in it, and it was just the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. And I was just there rushing, and everybody's chanting, and it was just an awesome experience. So from there, we go to eat. And where's the #1 place you would bring your foreign friends to experience?
Dirties.
Hello.
Wait, dirties.
Oh, we go to the Fry. Fry, I always bring my foreign friends over to the Fry when they come to town. And that was when I was introduced to the Sky Juice. Now, when I was introduced to the Sky Juice, I didn't know that the Sky Juice had alcohol. I'm thinking Bahamian fruits and vegetables, so I'm drinking it. We got this big old cup with ice, and I'm enjoying it, and I noticed something strange.
Led by Eve.
I was kind of looking at everything with 2 legs and a pulse, if you know what I mean. And my girlfriend at the time was right next to me.
Must have been a Sunday.
And all of a sudden, I feel, right upside the head. And I had to explain to her that I had no idea. That's when I found out there was alcohol in Sky Juice. So that was my first experience, my first night.
Get him drunk,
So a few days later, we go to Junkanoo.
Never leave.
A few days later, we go to Junkanoo. And in New York City, it's a very fast-paced lifestyle. So when you walk and you're walking with your lady, a lot of the times you guys may be 3 feet apart and you're just kind of ducking through the crowds. Now here in Nassau, I'm walking with my lady.
Woman gone.
Woman gone. One foot. She go on, daddy.
I hear these strange sounds by a group of men. It's like, hey. So I'm looking for a stray dog. You know, dog by me. I'm like, what's going on? And this Bahamian old timer, he comes up to me. He's like, babe, this is Nassau. You better hold your woman tight. You better hold your woman tight. These dudes ain't playing. So every time I walk with my lady now, keep it right there, and I have the mean mug. You can't smile too much because it gets you soft. So I was holding her tight. And I met this Bahamian old timer, an amazing guy. And he taught me 2 lessons here in the Bahamas. He said, have you ever heard of Bahamian Viagra? So I said, what's Bahamian Viagra? He said, it's a cum pistol. I said, a cum pistol? What the hell is that? And that's when I found out about cum and how it's an oversized snail. Now, I'm a New Yorker. We only do pizza and bagels. You're telling me to come over here and eat an oversized snail. So it just grossed me out. Like I was like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna eat. But you know, as you guys know, being in the Bahamas, it rubs off on you. A few years later, a few years later, we bred a Bahamian son. All right. A few years later, we bred a Bahamian son. So the Bahamian Viagra works. I'm living proof. All right.
Living proof.
His name is Mr.
So now I got this Bahamian son, and he's half Puerto Rican. Well, his father's Puerto Rican, but he's 100% Bahamian, if you know what I mean. A few days ago,
We both know.
I've been over some ass.
I'll tell you what I mean. A few days ago, he's 9 months. He starts to take his first step, and after about 3 steps, I notice his arm kind of walking like this, and the stride gets a little long. And my father-in-law had to explain to me. Like, young man, that's a Bahamian stride. That's a Bahamian stride. And it was just weird to me. I was like, man, he's only 9 months. How can this possibly be true? So that's why I say he's 100% Bahamian. And then this Bahamian old timer, he told me about the second lesson. He said there's an elite, audacious set of women on this island. You must stay away from these women. They come in all shades and colors, all professions. A lot of the times they have many types of colors of hair. He said this audacious group are called the junglists, as you guys may know. He said if you have a good Bahamian woman, you put a ring on it. In New York, we don't really believe in marriage, but maybe in Bahamas, it rubs off on you. So I put a ring on it. I put a ring on it, and here we are today. So to wrap it all up in a nutshell, I love this country. I'm an American, and I know as an American, we have flaws in our country. And I come to the Bahamas, and we have flaws in the Bahamas. But at the end of the day, this is our country. You know, this is a beautiful country. There's a lot to offer. Some of the most talented people in the world. I went to a high school with many West Indian people, Jamaicans, Trinis, Bajans, and I never even knew what a Bahamian was until I went to college and met my wife. And that goes to show you, I say that for this reason. And New York is a melting pot of the world. But the elite, and I say elite because the only places you really see a Bahamian is in the Rock of Manhattan, working corporate jobs. Bahamian are some of the most elite in New York City. So I just want to stress that to you guys. You don't see a bunch of people migrating. It's not that bad where people are migrating to go to New York City for opportunities. So that says a lot about what this country still is. And the last thing that Bahamian old timer told me, I said, look, I want to get around some very influential men. I want to get around positive men, real Bahamian men. And what he told me was this: find the men of 1600. And here I am today.